Hello. Welcome in to a chopping block declutter video. I recently went through my entire makeup collection and decluttered, but inevitably during that process, I found a few things that I wasn't quite ready to let go of without trying them again on my face. So that is what this video is. I have 7 products that are on the chopping block. I need to try them this one last time and make a final decision of whether I am keeping them or whether they're getting decluttered today. We are gonna start off today with concealer, and this product is on the chopping block. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I have the shade light peach. It's very peach, like almost too warm of a peach for my skin tone. I definitely have neutral leaning cool undertones. In the summer, it's a little bit of a better shade match for me, but I'm still going to use it today and just see how it goes. That being said, basically all of the complexion products today are actually more my summer shade, and so they're not going to match my neck, and we're just going to deal with that. But this one in particular is definitely going to be a little bit deep for a concealer. This is on the chopping block because it's my fullest coverage concealer and I just haven't used it in a really long time. It's not so much that I think it's bad. It's not like it's getting really old and I need to get rid of it because it's expired. It sort of just has been thrown to the wayside. I've really found some concealer formulas I love this year, and so I feel like I'm just kind of ignoring this and I don't really remember how I feel about it. So we're just assessing it today to see if I still like it. It is pretty full coverage, so this might actually even be too much of it, but we'll see. It's actually not as deep as I expected. I mean, it's definitely not like a brightening concealer for me this time of year, but it's actually looking okay with my skin tone right now. It's actually looking really nice. Certainly a little bit more dry than some of my other concealers that I love. I think this concealer is actually okay. I'm gonna give it a few minutes while I put the rest of the stuff on to really kind of like settle in, see how it does with my fine lines, see kind of how I feel once foundation's on with it, and then I'll make a decision on that. So bear with me, I've got to give this one just a couple minutes before I make a choice. Okay, next up, I've got 2 foundations, so I'm actually just gonna do half my face and half my face because I do want to test these both out today. And this, the first one is the Smashbox Studio Skin 24-Hour Hydra Foundation. I have the shade 1.1. It's fair light neutral, and that's gonna go on the side of my face. And again, main issue here, main concern thing that I'm looking for is this just has not looked super great on my dry skin this winter, and I am just not willing to put up with that anymore, basically. I'm not willing to. This looked really great on my skin in the summer. I liked it a lot. I gave it a pretty good review on my channel, and I actually think that if you have kind of like slightly more combo skin or slightly more normal skin, this is an absolutely stunning foundation. And the same comments essentially apply to the Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. I have the shade 40 Neutral Vanilla. It was really beautiful on me, especially this summer. I just don't know that I'm willing to keep stuff around that only works for me part of the year. And in the summer, I'm not like significantly less dry than the winter. It's just enough, like just enough less dry that some of these things are kind of on the fence, and now that it's winter my skin kind of can't handle them very well. So let me go ahead. I'm going to start with the Smashbox first. And I'm using a damp sponge for both of these today because just trying to retain a little moisture. I really want these things to work. Like I want to keep and like the makeup that I've purchased, but it's just not the best. I mean, you can see it got a little patchy here. That doesn't even usually happen. That's not even normally a part of my face that's patchy. It's having trouble blending out today too, and that doesn't usually happen with the sponge. With my fingers and with a brush, this is really streaky, but with a sponge, I'm usually okay. But like my chin is dry and you can see it's just really struggling. I was gonna say, just like the concealer, I need to wait on these foundations and kind of make a decision after I see how they wear. But honestly, this is just not gonna, it's just not gonna cut it. And that's such a bummer. And it's also, I feel like the first time I used this, it was like high medium coverage, and I can't get it to build on itself anymore. I don't know if it's just my skin has changed or what's going on, but I've only used this like, let's say 3 or 4 times total. So I do think someone else will get a lot of good use out of this. This one is getting decluttered. Now let's see how the Essence does on the other side of my face. Oh, I forgot. This Essence one also, one reason I don't love it is it has a really strong scent. I forgot. I forgot about that. Not great. Okay, this one looks a little bit better. Sorry, some streaky areas here. See, this one's having trouble blending out too. Oh no, never mind. It's okay now. It's good. It's good. So this one looks a little bit better in my opinion. It does look just a little smoother. And this side of my face has some really, really dry patches right now. And it's looking just a little bit better than the other one. But you know what? It's still really dry, like around my forehead. Gosh, it's just like, it looks caked on, even though it's like relatively lightweight. And I just don't like it. I don't like it. I think I really need to hone in this year on finding one good medium coverage foundation. I thought these two were going to be my holy grail, and it makes me really, really sad to think that they just didn't work out. However, I am going to quickly kind of try to match my neck to my face a little bit. I do have a couple places to be today, so I'm just going to take a combo of these two shades and just put it on my neck quick. Oh, I'm realizing I didn't say my verdict out loud, but I'm gonna declutter this one as well from Essence. This is so unfortunate to me, but I think I really need to nail it. I need to find something perfect, and these are not it. That's as good as that match is gonna get today. Oh well. And revisiting the concealer really quickly, it is sinking into my lines quite a bit, but that's my fault. I didn't set it. I did that on purpose, right? Just wanted to see what it would do. But I actually do like it. Oh my gosh, look at that foundation just completely came off. You guys. Anyway, the concealer, I do like it. I think it's good enough. I'm gonna hold on to it for a little bit. I have a Project Pan video coming up soon, and I'm actually trying to use up one of my other concealers, so this one might get a little bit more use once that one's out of the picture. I'm going to try to fix this. I'm also going to powder under my eyes and parts of the rest of my face because I'm not using any cream products today, so I will be back after that. All right, so powder is down, and I also did my brows off camera. Oh boy, my brows got out of hand today. I don't know what I did differently, but they are bold and they are bushy. That's okay though. I will say after powdering, let me get my mirror. After powdering, the concealer is looking quite a bit worse. It looks really, really dry. And because I have so many lines under my eyes, I do powder always essentially with my concealer. So there wouldn't really be a case where this wasn't getting powdered, I guess. So I actually think I'm gonna let that go as well. I'm gonna let this concealer go on its merry way. I just think it's not quite looking as good as my other concealers do under my eyes. So this one is on its way out as well. And now that that's kind of out of the way, the base is done and out of the way, I am going to move on to cheek products. So one of the things on the chopping block here is the Ofra and Samantha March Life's a Draft palette. Now, if you watched my 2021 best of video, like my faves and fails of the year, this was one of my favorites, and it really truly is one of my favorites. I think it's so versatile, so useful. I just happen to have these eyeshadow shades a billion times over in my collection, and I don't necessarily need like the Ofra version of them, I guess. I just feel like I've got a lot of redundancy going on with these mauve and purple tones, and I don't love the Ofra shimmer formula, so it feels kind of like I don't really want to keep a palette just for the mattes when I have good mattes elsewhere. That being said, the part we're really focusing on today are these face shades down here. So the bronzer and the highlighter I have no particular attachment to. I have other products in my collection that are the same quality as those two products. The thing here that I really am wanting to try out today and figure out a decision on is this blush down here. It's the shade 6 and it is really stunning. Now, the decision I'm basically trying to make here is, should I try to sell this entire palette to someone? It's very gently used, and so I think someone could get a lot of really good use out of it. Or should I decide to keep this blush and then gift the rest of the palette to like a family member or a friend? And I really think it all comes down to this blush. Everything else I could kind of take it or leave it, but this blush is, oh God, it's so, so beautiful. It's really, really gorgeous. Let me swatch it for you. Okay, so there's a swatch. It's kind of like a dusty mauve tone with some like warmer sparkle in there. So it is a little bit shimmery, and it's kind of like, I keep calling it like a peachy mauve because it's got that mauve undertone, kind of those cooler undertones, but then it has like a burnt peach shimmer in it. And so it's just really, really unique in my collection. I don't have anything else like this. But what I'm going to try to do today is recreate it using a combo of 2 other blushes I own to see if I can get a similar look with something I already have. So the blushes I'm going to mix together to try to match this are my Essence Satin Touch blush in the shade Satin Love to kind of get that mauve-y undertone. And then I have my Kaleido Cosmetics Skin Blush in the shade Prima Donna, which is more like a pink tone with some shimmer in it. And so I'm hoping, we'll see, that when these are layered, they'll be sort of similar. Let me swatch them and see. Okay, so here's the Ofra one. Here's what I'm trying to dupe it with. They're pretty different. So I don't know. We're just gonna see what happens. I'm gonna put just a little bit of bronzer on first because that's how I apply my makeup. So that's part of me loving this blush, is using a bronzer with it. And I am just gonna use this one from the Ofra palette. All right, and then we're gonna do the Ofra blush on this side, and then it's really pigmented, so I do have to be pretty careful with it. So I'm just gonna build it up slowly. So hopefully you can see, it's just like a really beautiful color on my skin. I don't know, I've never had a blush like this, and it's just something special in my mind. And so I need to see if I can get something even relatively close to that on this other side of my cheek. So I'm just gonna basically bounce back and forth between these 2 blushes to get going, and then I will kind of adjust as needed. We'll see how this goes. Okay, it's definitely a little like brighter, but I am kind of getting that toastiness. Honestly, I think it's close enough, and I'm gonna put this other blush over on this side, and I am going to declutter the Ofra palette, which really surprises me. That's not a reflection of the quality, it's just a reflection of the fact that I have these colors 1,000 times over, and it's big and it takes up a lot of space, so I would rather keep my other products. There we go, we're matched up, and I love that blush color. I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm glad I did this. This was a good little experiment. Okay, and then we are pretty glowy already. I mean, you might not be able to tell too much on camera, but I do have quite a bit of glow going on here. But I have 2 highlighters, and I'm not sure how to approach this. So I have one highlighter from Estate Cosmetics. It's their Do Me Baked Highlighter in the shade Lit. I love this highlighter, I really do. It's the only kind of like golden toned highlighter I've ever found that looks nice on my skin tone. Let me just give you a little swatch. So it's right here. It's a really beautiful texture. There's no chunks, no glitter. It's really, really smooth on my skin. It's really beautiful. So I will definitely try that one today, but I also have another one. It's the Merit Beauty Kava Highlighting Balm, or the shade is Kava. It's the highlighting balm in the shade Kava. And let me swatch this one as well. It's a cream stick format. And it's over here on my hand. So really just like a neutral champagne. I think you can tell the difference between these two, right? Like this one is very neutral. This one has that golden sort of glow to it. And I don't know that I'm gonna be able to try the Merit today, honestly, because it's very, very creamy and balmy, and I'm not sure how it'll go on top of all of that powder I just put down. I powdered quite a bit with those blushes. So I think I'm gonna try the Estate one first, and maybe I'll be able to put this like on my nose, my Cupid's bow or something to get a feel for it. Let's try this cheek. See, it really is beautiful. Yeah, it's really pretty, but it is emphasizing my texture quite a bit there. I haven't really noticed that about this before, so that's surprising to me, actually. You know what? That could be a reflection of kind of how horrible these two foundations are today, because it's not looking great on this side either. And truly, that's never an issue that I've had with this. So I don't really think it's this product. I think that might be the foundation causing some trouble. I do really love it. It's kind of the only golden highlighter I've ever liked. I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm just gonna hold on to it for a little bit. I will just declutter later on down the road if I feel I've made a mistake. Okay, and let's try to use this Merit highlighting balm just like on my nose and kind of maybe my temples, my Cupid's bow, just to get a feel for it. So this is sort of my issue with it. If you can see on my finger, there are parts where you can really see it and parts where there are gaps. It's hard for me to get like kind of an even play of this across my skin. It looks a little patchy when I use it. That's just not really even working though. Here's the comparison for me. This one is sort of like my Salt New York cream in beige, and that formula is just way more consistent than this. Yeah, you know what? This is also going to have to basically have the same fate as this Estate Cosmetics one. I think it's not playing well with the things already on my face, and I powdered because I forgot I had this. It looks okay on like the end of my nose, but that's such a small spot that I don't think I can really make a good judgment call on this. So I'm gonna hold on to both of these highlighters. I would like to at least eliminate one of these two in the next coming weeks, but I need to play around with them a bit more. All right, and last thing up here on the chopping block is the Juvia's Place Magic Mini palette. Now, I love this palette for a few reasons. I love these sort of like lighter shimmer shades. I use those quite a bit. I kind of don't ever use like this red. This gold I use every once in a while. I don't use these blues and turquoises and teals very much, but I do love two things in here that I'm hesitant to get rid of, and that's these two dark mattes. This one is like a dark teal, and this one is like a dark eggplanty purple. It's like a true purple though. It doesn't have any like brown mixed in. It's not a berry tone. It's very much a purple. And I do like those colors sometimes to darken up a colorful look. And I think that I don't really have anything like these elsewhere in my collection, but this like top half and even these two are pretty redundant in my collection since I got the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. So I brought that over just so we can kind of pop it open and take a look. So I feel like those purpley pinky shimmers are definitely in here. Those teals that I very rarely use are in here in shades that I like better than in the Juvia's Place. So let me hold it up. And I also get some of these nice kind of neutrally shades that are in the Juvia's Place as well. The things that are missing from this and that I don't really have anywhere else are that really bold gold shade, this red matte, and then those deep teal and purple shadows in the bottom of this palette. So I am just going to do an eye look with my Juvia's Place palette, and I'm just gonna see how I feel. I'm not gonna focus on trying to use those shades or anything in particular. I'm actually gonna maybe try to go kind of neutral with it because that's what I do when I reach in here. I bought this as a fun palette, and to be honest, I'm not using it as a fun palette. I reach into these neutral shades like 90% of the time when I use this, and I think that's pretty indicative of the fact that I probably don't need to keep it, but let me just play with the formula one last time and see how I'm feeling. I am gonna go into Nana. I am gonna do kind of my neutral look with this because it's the thing I'm most likely to actually keep it for. Those brighter shades are just not my taste, and even if I want to keep it for more like editorial sorts of looks, I know myself and I know I won't do those looks. I won't use them. Juvia's Place makes beautiful eyeshadows. Really, really, truly outstanding. But that doesn't mean I have to keep the palette. And that's something I need to learn. To lighten that up just a little bit, I'm going to go into Kezi here, which is on me just like basically skin tone shade with a little bit of a grayish undertone. So it neutralizes this shade super well for me. And then I'm gonna put Baronu all over my lids, no surprise. And I think I will then use Ife, which is the purpley shade, my favorite shade in this palette by a long shot. I think I'm gonna use that as a bit of a liner just to remind myself of how much I love it and see if I wanna keep it. And I don't have a good inner corner highlight shade in this palette, so I'm gonna go back to this Estate Cosmetics highlighter really quick and use that on my inner corners. And then I'm gonna run a mixture of Kessie and Nana underneath of my eye. All right, so really pretty, just like warm, neutral look that I can make with 1,000 other palettes in my collection, and the thing that I basically always reach into this palette for. So there's that to consider. And then here is the shade Ife. I am gonna go ahead and use that as an eyeliner today. This is the deep purple, like true purple, and it's really beautiful. It's just really simple, and you know, because it's like a primary purple basically, it deepens stuff up in such a different way than like the berry tones that I have in my collection. Okay, so here's why I love this palette. This purple is just so beautiful. I mean, like, it's a gorgeous shade, and I don't have anything else that is like that is a true purple, and I do really like it, but I question how much I will actually use it in like regular makeup application. So let me put on mascara and let me pick out a lip, and then we will make a decision about this after that. All right, back with lips and mascara done. And here's what I decided. I decided that this dark purple Ife is truly the only shade in the whole palette that I would want to keep this for. Everything else I have somewhere else, or it's a shade that I just don't wear because I don't like how it looks on me. And so there's no reason to keep an entire palette for one shade. I am instead going to let it go. I'm gonna declutter it. And then if I find myself missing, in particular, this like dark, deep purple, like true purple, I will just buy an eyeliner or a single shadow from a brand I love, like Sydney Grace. Their mattes are outstanding. Don't get me wrong, I like Juvia's Place mattes too, but I like Sydney Grace way better. And so if I decide I really truly need that shade back in my life, a true purple, I will just go out and buy one true purple eyeliner or eyeshadow, and it'll be good enough. I don't need to keep a whole palette for that one shade. So that is my final conclusion. As a recap, 5 of the 7 products on this chopping block are decluttered, and then 2 of them, the 2 highlighters, those are kind of still a little wishy-washy. I am really liking how this one from Estate Cosmetics is looking, so chances are I'm keeping that one long term, but the Merit Beauty one, I really need to I just need to put it on again. I need to put it on again, maybe compare it to my Salt New York a little more closely. And I need to put it on when I don't have powder on my face already to really get a good feel for if I want to keep that one or not. So those two are still sort of in limbo. I will more likely than not declutter at least one of them over the next couple weeks. But that's where we are leaving it for this chopping block video. And this video wraps up my January declutter series here. I had kind of the 3 videos in a row. My lipstick declutter, where I tried on all of my lipstick shades and decided what I still think flatters me and what doesn't. I then decluttered my entire collection, which is where I got this box of chopping block items. And then this video here is kind of the finale, the wrap up. And I feel really good going into the rest of the year, kind of with a cleaned out collection. I truly only have things that I love, like deep, deep into my core now. And that feels incredible. I am so glad that you came along on this journey with me. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.